Our speaker right now is Marco Benvenuti with Duetto. He is a speaker with the Next Gen Education Program. That's actually a partnership with Georgetown University. We're so happy to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me.
So you are talking all about millennials, and just in case people want to know, you're the guy riding around on a hoverboard if we ever see you. Is that right?
I think I'm the only one at the conference.
I think that's probably pretty safe to say. So talk a little bit about really the subject of millennials. In fact, we've been talking about that all morning long, specifically in the hotel and travel industry.
Right. So the millennial is going to be the new workforce to deal with. So every company will have to deal with into the hiring, as well as a lot of hotel companies will have them as guests, so they'll see it on both sides. There is no hiding behind it. This is a different generation from the one before. And it's a generation that is going to react in the workforce in a completely different way that we're used to. And so unless we make adjustments, we're going to find surprises.
And Marco, your company, Duetto, is a revenue strategy company.
Correct.
And it's grown, as you're explaining to me, really exponentially. What can other businesses learn from that?
Yeah, so not only we've grown exponentially in our almost 4 years of activity, we went from being 3 founders to now being almost 100 employees. So you can kind of understand the rate of growth of the people that we have to hire. But also we're very skewed into hiring millennia, because we're doing the revenue strategy, which is the pricing of hotel rooms in a completely different way. And so we like new blood and new energy coming in, and we recruit a lot from different schools. And so we have a lot of people straight out of college, which are the millennia. It's really been key to engage these people on a different level to retain them in the company. Because usually, a millennial that graduates today, they stay in their first job for less than a year, or maybe for a year and a half, and then they jump to another company, which of course has tremendous cost into the turnover. While instead we've been very good at understanding them and creating a work environment that appeals to them, and we reduce the turnover drastically because of that, which of course goes to the bottom line of the company.
So for a lot of businesses, this would really entail changing the way of thinking when it comes to millennials, because there's, as you're explaining to me, a different work-life balance that comes into play. Is that correct?
Yes. So the old days of I work from 9 to 5 and then I go home and I don't think about work until the following days are done. Especially for a company like us that is a global company. We have offices all over the world. We deal with multiple time zones. We have clients that you change rates 24/7.
Sure.
So we need to be on the ball all the time, and doesn't mean that you work 24/7, but you cannot work on fixed schedules. And so your work-life balance has to be where your work and your life are kind of together. The lines are very blurry. And so we do things, for example, as offering a gym right next to the office, to offer a nap room where people can take nap in the middle of the day, to blurring our social media activity with the social media activities of our employees. So we're all a big family, and there is really no difference between your private life and your work life. It all comes together.
Yeah, millennials don't unplug a whole lot.
They don't put their phone down.
Right.
Don't try that.
That's right. How do you think somebody could make, a business maybe can make the hotel or hospitality industry more appealing to a millennial?
Right, so you need to change a little bit what you've done in the past. So the hotel industry, the hospitality industry, is an incredibly attractive and fun industry to be in. But at the same time, historically, it's been an industry that sometimes has been a little stuck up and a little resistant to change, from the dress code to the way that, for example, they've been handling their relationship with social media and people in the workforce dealing with social media. So you need to keep and really foster and really showcase the interesting, fun part of the hospitality industry, which is very unique, and try to relax a little bit the policies that you had maybe 20, 30 years ago. Because in the end, wearing a suit and tie today, even for hotel staff, it's not for everybody anymore. There is a lot of new boutique hotel companies, for example, where the staff is dressed with jeans like people that you see on the street. So it's kind of, again, trying to concentrate on what's really been working for the hotel industry and change the more old school mentality to appeal to the millennial.
We've talked about how technology is changing a lot of things in the travel industry. How is it changing the way hotels deal with analytics?
Right, so hotels always had an incredible amount of data at their disposal to have to sort out. which has been a big problem. On top of that, you have the distribution environment that is becoming more and more complex, and you have these OTAs and third party that are retaining more and more of the share of money than the hotels. And so technology now, with cloud computing coming into place, way more calculation, way more flexibility into connectivity, can actually start predicting behaviors of customer in a better way, and can actually arm hotels, if they use it the right way, to actually start playing on a level field, for example, with big OTAs like Expedia and Booking.com, and retain a little bit more of that profit and that power that they used to have before. So there's been a shift more on the OTA side, and now there is technology out there that can bring things a little bit back to the hotel brick and mortar side of the business.
Are there any takeaways for hotels and owners, companies today that they can maybe implement right away?
Right, so it's all about knowing your customer and retaining your customer. So the capital mistake that anybody can do is to have a customer that stays with you, and then next time when they come, they book through a third party, because you're basically losing all your marketing money. So it's really creating unique experiences, but also unique pricing proposition for that customer, so they know that they have a trustworthy relationship with you, where you're always going to be taking care of them, whether it's through a lower price, whether it's with an upgrade, whether it's with a personalized experience to them. But you need to build that trust, so they know that when they come to you, you know what they want, you know what they're worth, you're able to reward them, and kind of get away from the old school mentality of, I give you points and you redeem points. Millennial don't want points. Millennial wants instant gratification.
Sure.
So we need to get more into a loyalty program also that appeal to that instant gratification that the millennial wants.
Which certainly can go back to social media.
Correct.
Lastly, what do you think the future holds for millennials in the travel industry?
So that's a very exciting generation to have in the workforce. If we've never seen a force like that entering the workforce, but I think there's going to be have and have-nots, both on the hotel side for customers and both also on the employer side. There's going to be the people that really get this millennia, and they're going to be able to get the best out of them and include them in their workforce, and really, as we said, create this very comprehensive environment where they're going to be able to work at their pace and have their private and work life come together. Same thing with hotel experiences that are going to be different and cater to that. And there's going to be companies that are just not going to get it, and I think they're going to see the brand of this generational change and really be left behind. But I really see a have and have not situation here happening in the next 10 years.
And is that sort of the feedback that you're getting from either companies or from maybe some of the millennials themselves?
Yeah, so I actually deal, fortunately, with a lot of university, which is very exciting. It also keeps me up to speed with the millennia, and clearly when now they go look for a job, they don't necessarily look at money as their primary driver. They look at actually a career that can make them happy and fulfilled. And really, like, depending when you talk to them, there's clearly companies that they want to work for and companies that they don't want to work for. And so again, there's going to be the have and have-nots situation here, and the have-nots are going to be in a big trouble unless they make changes.
What do you think the millennials are looking for? Just that better work-life balance? I mean, if there are businesses out there that say, sure, we want to hire millennials, but we're just a little bit confused. We don't know what
Right.
what they want.
First thing, they want instant gratification. I cannot stress that enough. I mean, right now you're on your phone, you're on Snapchat, you're on Instagram, people like your stuff, like they need that sense of instant reward and instant gratification, which for companies is hard because usually you have to pay your dues and move in your career.
Right.
And of course you cannot be in a situation where you start promoting all the millennials and leave everybody else out.
Right.
But for example, thinking about situations where titles don't matter much anymore. Titles are different. The hierarchy, the old organizational structure that is a pyramid completely changes, not just for the millennial, but for everybody, for the good, so that people are actually contributing and they're able to talk for what they know, and they can be recognized for what they know and what they do without this very hierarchical approach that is a part of the past that in the end the millennial are not going to respond well to.
What do you think of HX so far, the feedback that you're
So far, I
getting?
love it. Looks like a great conference. There is a very large hall, so I can go around with my with
You
my
can ride
scooter.
around with your
I can
hoverboard?
ride around all day with my hoverboard. We actually have a booth here, so I'll be at the booth later today, and I'm looking. I had about 120 people show up at my presentation this morning,
Yes.
and they were mostly students, so I was very happy about that, and I'm looking to meet as many people as possible throughout the conference.
And are they looking for guidance from you, sort of in the field?
Yeah, Yeah, so it's interesting because they're of course like, I cannot hire the world, right? And they understand that, but they're basically looking for guidance to say, what should I do? I like this. What should be my path? Which I think is the best thing that as executive in the travel and hospitality industry we can do for students, is to really try to, give them a path and show them a path to basically say, again, money is important, but it's not going to be what makes you happy in life.
Right.
Let's find the right path for you that is going to fulfill you and make you happy.
Okay, well, we certainly appreciate you being with us,
Great
Marco.
to be
Thank
here.
you. Thank you for spending some time with us here at the HX studio. And we know that you'll be riding around in your hoverboard later.
Around, so
okay.
Stop by.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you all for being here at the HX studio. We'll see you again.